This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
And I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hi, Jason Glick.
Hey, John. How are you? How are your holidays?
Oh, they're there. They're here. Everything's fine here now. How are you?
Yeah, it's like my holidays have been good. It's like I'm glad that I'm recording this now after having driven back and forth to my sister's place like twice in the last 48 hours, but for good reasons. For driving my parents first, and then driving myself second, which has been great. But it's like but like I said, like now it's like I'm back. It's like I'm enjoying things, and here to talk about comics. And it's like I know what we've been like going on and on about, like prior to talking about this, but I guess there's one thing I can't escape talking about before this particular podcast about Darth Vader is the fact that 2016 fucked us over once again.
Okay.
And when I say that 2016 fucked us over once again, right, John?
Okay.
That well, since this is a Star Wars themed podcast, I have to address the fact that earlier today we found out that Carrie Fisher passed away, which that is terrible because once we heard that she had this massive heart attack on the 23rd, my thought was that okay, this is going to be the one bit of 2016 that beats the odds, that she's gonna get better, and we're gonna hear good things about it in a couple days. And then when George Michael passed away on the 25th, we thought, okay, we're gonna hear good things about Carrie Fisher to make things better, like after that happens. And then earlier today, no, that's not what happened. So that is definitely tragic. And yes, as I'm doing a Star Wars podcast right now, it's like that is definitely tragic because it's like she would it's like you can't argue with what she brought to the Star Wars franchise as Princess Leia, as someone who was willing to grab the gun and shoot the grate and lead everyone to safety. It's like even if it was into a trash compactor, or if you're just just telling Han Solo to just go kiss a Wookiee. It's like like she was fantastic. I mean, this is in the context of the films itself, and her writing career, and her willingness to embrace her mental illness and make lots of great comedic guest stars and make a solid writing career afterwards. So that's tragic. And it's like I hate to get sentimental and maudlin about this, but that's disappointing. And it's like, especially in the fact that hey, I've got a Darth Vader podcast to talk about because, like, of the comic books that Marvel has put out so far, their Darth Vader series has been the crown jewel. And that's mainly because they have got, okay. It's like when one of the things I like that I want to hear when people are writing a run on comics, either be for creator owned or for some sort of corporate-owned comic, is that they have a plan. That they have, okay, this is what I want to do with the character, this is what I want to do with the story, and I'm going to do it. So, like, if the series is successful enough, then they can pull it off, and everyone will go home happy. Darth Vader, by Kieron Gillen and Salvador Larroca, is an example of a perfect comic run, where the writer had a perfect idea of what they wanted to do with this series, and they pulled it off. Because with Darth Vader, Gillen basically had this idea of okay, like with the slate wiped clean in the wake of Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm, basically wiping out the expanded universe, saying, okay, how does Darth Vader go from his defeat and the destruction of the Death Star at the end of Star Wars to still running the show in Empire Strikes Back? So that's his goal. And the 25 issues, including one crossover and one annual, like beautifully show that. Now, Gillen is one of those writers who he is frankly amazing. He is a very funny, very creative writer whose Marvel work has been nothing short of fantastic, be it his work on Journey into Mystery, his X-Men run, which is basically designed to feed into Avengers X-Men, or Young Avengers, which also fed off of his Journey into Mystery run, has been like thoroughly entertaining. Basically, he's a guy who can look, at the who can take into context like the stuff that has been going on in the expanded universe, either of the Marvel universe or of Star Wars, and basically say, okay, these are the constraints that I can work within. It's like, so I'm going to just basically push things and push the boundaries in all the ways that I can in order to achieve the most creative and most fun result possible. So I mean, like, just the fact that, I honestly think that it's a loss that he's not still working on like regular Marvel titles. But if he wants to just pursue his creator own ambitions, be it with like The Wicked and the Divine with Image, or with his mature reader stuff, which and with Avatar, being with like the Cross stuff, or with a Mercury Heat, or Uber specifically, because like Avatar like they love their mature reader stuff, but with Darth Vader, Gillen he basically had a specific goal with this series, basically 25 issues of showing you how Darth Vader went from defeat to triumph, like in The Empire Strikes Back. And I believe I mentioned back when I talked about the initial bunch of Marvel like trade paperback collections for Star Wars, was that like Gillen actually had a nice solid plan for Star Wars, basically showing you that in the first volume we find out that the Emperor, he's looking like in the wake of the destruction of the Death Star, he's looking at different plans, a new plan to replace Vader as his right hand man, basically with Dr. Silo, the one of the people who basically rebuilt Vader after he was thrown into the lava at Mustafar, and who helped rebuild Vader. But now the Emperor had this doctor create new like augmented humans, not humans, humans and aliens, like in order to basically like serve as like his new right hand man. It's like, and that's kind of, that's the start of the series. Basically, showing you how Vader, it's like, even though he is immensely powerful, but you have to deal with being subject to like an arrogant imperial general Tage, and the Emperor's own plans for it. It's like, hey, it's like, you failed me, so I'm going to find someone to replace you now. It's like, so, and that's a great solid start for things, and Gillen can has a good plan for showing you how Vader gets his finds a way to ascend back to the position of power he is, that we find him in at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, and and it works well because he also finds a great supporting cast as well, such as Dr. Aphra, who is basically Indiana Jones with even more moral ambiguity. Like, she is she's someone who recognizes the power of ancient technology, but even if stuff like, say, the 000 droid matrix, which is kind of a an assassin protocol droid order. So she says, hey, well, this has been locked away by some people. She realizes, hey, maybe we should give this a shot and see what it's like. Like, she is it's fun to see her try basically walk the line with both Vader and these assassin droids she's brought back into circulation. It's like, yeah, she's kind of like evil Indiana Jones. It's fun to see. One of the high points, one of the few high points in the Vader down crossover, is when she comes face to face with Han Solo, and she does not recognize Han Solo at all. She recognizes him. She looks at him and says, he's the kind of guy who would skip out on his bar tab given the chance. And when Han Solo sees her, he's like, poodoo, because he knows who Aphra is. It's like he knows that she's not to be fucked with. So there you go. That's I guess that's your definition of irony right there. But still, it's like Galen has he's got a good instinct for supporting cast with Aphra, and the assassin droids 000, who is kind of who is definitely evil C-3PO, in the sense that he is like someone who is like I can't decide whether or not I would love to see him voiced by Anthony Daniels. Just give him the chance to say just Anthony, just be evil, or just someone like David Tennant. Well, who could I'm sure could pull off an evil sociopathic droid, and BT, who is just kind of like R2D2 with missile launchers. It's good stuff. So you've got, but basically the run is, like I said, it's all about it's showing Vader's ascent, like from disgrace to like not really redemption, but just order. And there's like lots of fun stuff. And Galen really nails the balance of showing someone who is of someone like Vader who is immensely powerful, but still has to struggle against what like his current lot in life, whether it's against like say the replacements that Dr. Silo has set up for him, or like characters like Inspector Stanoff, who he's perfectly human. In fact, if they ever bring him into the regular universe, I'd love to see him voice of Morgan Freeman, because I'm sure Morgan Freeman would love to be a character who is just just like duplicitous and scheming, and someone who realizes his role in the franchise is to figure out what Darth Vader's ultimate plan is, and then die for being so clever as to figure it out. It's good stuff. So, but but I guess if I want to say that there's any flaws with Galen's approach, is that rereading all the volumes of that he wrote here, it's like he's got this bit where people say, Vader, I've tried to prove to you, it's like this is how it's always going to be. It's like you subservient to me, and Vader saying, no, it's like I am going to this is how it's going to be, because I have seen through your plans. Like it's like on one hand, yeah, it's like it is a nice repetitious bit of Vader constantly seeing through the bad guys and then affirming his dominance over them. Now, if you went through the prequel trilogy and were really depressed over the fact that it's like how Vader's character was ruined, like I guess through explanation and backstory, like as the as the Honest Trailers guys like to put it. This is something that you're probably going to like, because it's basically a constant reaffirmation of Vader's badassery through very worthy means. Whether it's him, just showing the nobles of Shu-Torun like how to properly dance, or letting Dr. Silo's replacements know, okay, this is how it was always going to end. It's like that's how how it's going to be. It's like there's good fun in there. It's like, I mean, like I said, there is repetition, but there's also like a very good understanding of the genre as well. I mean, specifically in the final volume, which I probably should be focusing on here, is that when the Emperor gives a spiel to Darth Vader about how all everything that has happened in the franchise up to this point has led to him, the Emperor, leading everything, and Darth Vader, now that Silo is on the run after the events of Volume 3 from the Shu-Torun War, basically saying yes, Vader, you are my chosen apprentice. This is what we were made for. And Vader responding was saying, yeah, if any of Silo's apprentices had defeated me, this is what you would have been telling them. But that doesn't matter because I am strength. The dark side is strength. This is what matters. It's like it shows like a nice understanding of the constraints in which you're supposed to work here. So obviously Darth Vader was going to win, but like that kind of like awareness is appreciated, and there's definitely cleverness to be found within that stuff as well, such as when like Silo shuts off Vader's like robotic parts because he was one of the he was the doctor who basically orchestrated Vader's rebirth from human to human machine cyborg, and that makes sense because hey, that you're working on what was done before, but Gillen also has a good way for Vader to overcome that also draws upon the like the stuff from the prequel trilogies, and when he works in the stuff in the prequel trilogies, when he actually has Vader force choke pregnant Padme in retrospect, that works really well within context, and also when Dr. Aphra spills all of Vader's plans to the Emperor, and it's like the Emperor responds, pretty much as you'd expect. Surprisingly, it's like that's cool too. But it's also worth mentioning that Dr. Aphra now has her own ongoing series written by Gillen, and you think that okay, that's kind of a spoiler in itself because like wouldn't Vader kill her for what she's disclosed to the Emperor and whatnot in this volume? Well, yes, he does kill her, but she survives because Aphra correctly bets on how cruel Darth Vader is willing to be, and that's genius right there. So really, it's like I've enjoyed pretty much all of what Marvel has put out so far because it's like okay, it's like I here's where I probably whine about someone like Charles Soule being given like a Star Wars title, right? But like Soule, he's the kind of guy that you give in the sense that he's someone who's going to think about things hard enough that he's going to at least deliver a solid series. Maybe not something exceptional, but definitely something readable or something else. And his Poe Dameron series, which I'll be talking about shortly, will be it's definitely an example of that. But Marvel has basically done a good job of throwing high enough level of talent at Star Wars, at their Star Wars titles, that everything has been thoroughly readable up to this point. The fact that they, however, I'm sure they also realize that I'm sure they've realized Gillen's talent. That hey, we want to give him something really worthy to chew on. So, like the thing is, that's how we got Darth Vader. That's how we got something as good as it, and as good as it is. And it's like. Well, and yeah, it's like his regular artist Salvador Larroca. Larroca's been doing quality work for Marvel for I guess I think it's decades now actually. And while there are parts where he is not quite good on motion, he is definitely a great one on style, and he's also the kind of guy who can actually churn out more than one book a month. So really, it's like he does a great job with Gillen. It's like, and overall, it's like like the like I said, all of Marvel Star Wars books have been, if nothing else, readable. So stuff you can pick up and not walk away being disgusted at. But Darth Vader, Kieron Gillen's Darth Vader is like the one Star Wars series that I would recommend to anyone. It is something that tells a nice. That tells a complete story that basically fills in essential gaps in the current Star Wars mythos. It's like, and if, like I said, if you're someone who was only just watch the movies, it's like you can read his work in volumes 1, 2, the Vader Down crossover, and 3 and 4, and come away with a nice, cohesive story about how Darth Vader got his groove back between episodes 4 and 5. So overall, highly recommended. And you're probably going to hear me talk briefly about this again in 2 weeks, because that's when I'm going to do my best of 2016 list. Spoiler warning and all. John, any thoughts on your end?
How Vader got his groove back?
How Vader got his groove back. Yes, that is what the series is all about.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, and this is a good trend to fill in gaps, right?
Yeah, I guess since Disney is has realized that any Star Wars stories that come from this point from their ownership have come forward from the point of their ownership are not going to have to feed specifically into it's like the franchise. It's like everything has to have a point. So there you go.
Got it. Well, cool. Do you know what you're going to talk about next week? Or did we already say that?
Yeah, like I said, expect to hear me talk about. Like I said, I have it to actually have up my list of my actual best of 2016. But at this point, I'd be very surprised if I didn't include Darth Vader at in this list at some point. But hey, maybe I'll surprise everyone here.
All right. We'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, laters.
Bye.